Destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
For 5 years running. It's the OD and the AM with Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
Let's ride. Wait. Take two. Bronco Country. No, that's not it. Bronco Country. Let's ride. Bronco Country. Let's ride. No. How about Vikings Country? Let's freeze. No, that doesn't work. Steelers Country. Let's steal. No. Falcon Country. Let's fly. No, that doesn't work either. I'm not sure what does work. All I know is congratulations, Bronco fan. I believe it to be the biggest cap hit ever. $85 million of dead money as Russ rides out of town with your cash. Good morning to you. I'm sorry. I don't mean to make light of it. You asked me, did I expect it? And I asked you how you don't expect it. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck, and DC. How you living out there in Cali? Can you hear him? Because I can't.
No, I believe he's not.
Check. You got me?
Yeah, now I got you. How you living in Cali?
Here.
Yeah.
Oh, living the Marriott life. What's up?
Hey, Marriott points are great.
Yeah, that's right. Bonvoy him up, baby. Well, how you feel about your quarterback riding out of town with all your cash and leaving you with all that dead cap space?
Well, this is going to go down as one of the worst trade in NFL history, with everything else surrounding it, the picks, the contract that was given to Russell Wilson, the amount of money that the Denver Broncos are going to have to eat. And this is going to be obviously a pivotal turning point in the franchise because they gave up so much for Russell Wilson. They gave up a lot for Sean Payton to come in and do nothing with Russell Wilson. And now they are looking at, hey, this is a depleted team, but go out there and fix it with 2 years worth of a destroyed cap, the 12th overall pick in a draft that it's going to be interesting to see which one of the other quarterbacks rises really high now that it's smokescreen season. Everyone's talking up everyone, but really for the Denver Broncos, it's going to be it's a good thing your owners have a lot of money because they're going to have to spend it.
Yeah, but they can only spend so much because there's rules on caps. For those of you who are going, wait, what? Let's ride, Russ, right? Bronco Country. Let's ride. Vikings Country, let's freeze would be good. Let's shiver.
I like let's fly.
You like Falcons Country?
Yeah, let's
All right.
fly on that. So
both DC and JJ, if you have initials on this show, you grew up a Bronco fan, evidently. So DC, you came in earlier and you're like, were you surprised? I said, no. How were you surprised? And you kind of thought somehow this was going to linger.
I thought there was a chance with that amount of money, you try and make it work. But the reality is with contracts like Aaron Rodgers, if you've got $60 billion and you're willing to give someone a huge bonus, you can make up for it. I mean, you can get around
Just
that.
money, right?
It's just money. Yeah, who cares?
$85 million cap hit. The Broncos informed Russell Wilson they will release him when the new year it begins next year, the new NFL year. I listen all the time. Oh, future Hall of Famer. Why do we call him future Hall of Famer?
It's a great question.
Do you hear that all the time too, JJ? Like.
Yeah, I think Russell Wilson will be. He's right there on that line.
Really? Him or Matt Stafford, Hall of Famer?
Honestly, I want to look at the career totals.
Yeah. I mean, Russell went to 2 Super Bowls. Stafford went to 1. They each won 1. I think Stafford's got gaudy numbers, but he's been to like 1 Pro Bowl, and Russell Wilson went to 9. I don't know if that matters.
I think the lack of success in the playoffs for the first 10 years hurt Stafford badly.
All right, if he gets to another one, then he's in. Does he just have to get there? I don't know.
Stafford has the Hall of Fame ability. And I think it's going to be close. I think Russell Wilson last year. Russell Wilson. Don't forget, this dude's been a good quarterback in the NFL just because of what happened the last 2 years.
Yeah, and I think the next chapter is going to really kind of decide it, don't you? Wherever he goes, he signed a 5-year, $242.6 million deal. So, over the next 2 seasons, the Broncos take an 80, and I don't understand salary cap. I'm not even going to pretend I do. An $85 million dead money hit. The Broncos are going to have to decide whether to take the biggest part of it this year or next year. So, what I'm looking at, the Broncos' dead money charge for releasing Russell Wilson is larger than the next 2 closest combined all time, according to something called roster management system. So they're eating $85 million. The Falcons in 22, when they released Matt Ryan, ate $40.5 million. And the Packers, when they released Aaron Rodgers, ate $40.3. The Bucks, this one, he retired. Why do they have to eat $35.1 million if the guy retired? When Tom Brady retired. And then Carson Wentz to the Eagles, $33 million. $85 million can damn well be crippling, can't it? I mean, crippling.
It's one where the Broncos, as DC said, if they're going to hit free agency, they're going to be handing out a lot of free money in signing bonuses to get people interested in signing for the Broncos over the next years. And they knew this was coming. And
yep.
I'm still not sold on anything this team has done over the last couple of seasons. Sean Payton is handed the keys to the franchise, and what has he done? Nothing. He's pretty much just told everyone what everyone thought is, this guy's not good enough. Okay, well, what's the plan moving forward? You knew you were handcuffed with this guy salary cap wise, and now at number 12, it's going to be interesting because it really feels like one of these teams is going to fall in love with the wrong quarterback and trade up to overdraft J.J. McCarthy or Bo Nix or Michael Penix. And I could absolutely see Sean Payton being that guy because he's kind of got this this offensive guru legend quarterback whisperer thing, and he's done nothing with any quarterbacks. It's like you won a Super Bowl with Drew Brees, that is fantastic.
He was a really good quarterback than anybody in the history of the league.
It's like you guys were really good together. I'm not taking that away from you, but you also really haven't proved you can do anything that you have to do in Denver right now.
So the release from Sean Payton and George Payton, who's the general manager. We spoke with Russell Wilson today to inform him of his release after the start of the league year. On behalf of the Broncos, we thank Russell for his contributions, dedication to our team and community while wishing him the best as he continues his career. As we move forward, we are focused on building the strongest team possible for the 2024 season and beyond. This is my favorite part. We are excited to improve this offseason and will have the flexibility to get better through the draft and free agency. And well, the flexibility, you're crippled. Your hands are tied. And JJ, DC came in, and I don't disagree with him. DC, you're really questioning the GM and George Payton and his moves. Did he author the Russell Wilson trade? Was he here then?
Yes.
So he's the guy who did the trade. He's the guy who went out and got Sean Payton. I mean, he's your GM. Like, how do you guys feel about that?
A lot of people are saying he's done after the draft.
Okay.
Like they're
Why let him draft then?
Because at this point in time, he's been there, done that, and you're this far in the process of scouting the offseason. And it's more of a, Sean Payton's probably in control and has the guys around him that he wants. And then after the draft, the offseason, they'll redo the rest of the front office. Like that's the talk of what's going on in Denver at this point in time. And with the Broncos, you have to realize that what we could see them do is throw away more draft capital. Like, I am done with seeing this team trade away first-round picks for not being close to be a playoff team. It's going to cost them a first-round pick to get Sean Payton. It's going to cost them probably a first-round pick next year, a couple second-round picks if they want to be one of the teams that starts talking with New England, because I think the Patriots are in a position to where they could come out of this draft and being ready to rebuild their future. And that means not taking a quarterback at 3, letting one of these teams win a bidding war to get up to 3 to take Drake May. And I think Denver could be one of those
You
teams.
convinced Jaden Daniels to go in 2?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm as convinced as you.
I think Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels are the clear top 2 quarterbacks in this draft.
Yeah, and it sounds like from here in Washington, it's really, really going back and forth between Drake May and Jaden Daniels. So your thoughts on your GM?
I think JJ is right. It's the clock's ticking. Sean Payton's in charge of this thing. A couple months ago when they said he's going to make the decision on the GM, you knew right then and there that he's running the show in Denver. So it's only a matter of time. George Payton was there to sell a team, and he did. He sold it for a record number, and his job is really done there. I mean, he's not doing anything for the team at this point.
No, he's not helping.
Yeah.
No, you guys are hurting. All right, Bronco fan, let's go. 505-246-0610. Like, Tony and the rest of you guys, where are you today? Today's the day to get in. Not that this is a surprise. The reality is hit, and here you are, and let's move, and where do you go? Do you care where Russ goes next? Because I want to get into that. Where is it? Is it Minnesota? Where is he better than what they have? Is he better than Kenny Pickett? If you're Pittsburgh, would you rather have him for cheap and he's going to be a free agent, or would you rather go get Justin Fields? What do you do if you're Atlanta? Or you try to, there's a lot of decisions. Do I think Russ is better than Michael Penix, Bo Nix, one of these guys? How do I want to go? I can get him for cheap. There's a lot of conversation to have. We're going to get into a bunch of stuff today. The Cowboys are going all in. Dak's convinced he's getting a new contract. Ton of NFL stuff to do today. JJ's in Fresno. Ladies play today. Final regular season game for UNM's women's basketball team. Lobos in Fresno State. What time you hit the air tonight?
Oh, goodness.
You got to compute 1 + 1.
6:30 Mountain Time.
All right, 7 o'clock tip. Sorry, dude. Didn't mean to do that to you.
Wait, time change. Here we
And,
go.
yeah, so then they'll fly on the charter and be back here in the morning, get home at about 1 in the morning and stick it out and be here in the morning. Lobo men play tomorrow. We'll get into all that. We're not done. And, JJ, you'll love this. I was driving in listening to Maggie Perloff before us, right? Remember I told you last week, they do every Tuesday morning, they do Defensive Player of the Week. And last week, they were given whoever the other guy is, not Maggie, not Perloff, the other guy in the show. He picked he picked Jaden Ledee of San Diego State. And they're like, why don't you pick someone who matters, right? Why don't we? And it's like, whatever. JJ, they were doing their Defensive Player of the Week, and they're like, well, who'd you? Oh, yeah, last week you picked a woman player last week, right? No. He picked Ricky Ledee, or Ricky Ledee. He picked Ricky Ledee. Oh yeah, like of San Diego State. Yeah, Ricky Ledee. Is he related? Ricky? Who the hell's Ricky Ledee? It's Jaden Ledee. and the dude who picked him was like, yeah, I picked Ricky Ledee.
So that
Peer
guy's
pressure.
name's EJ. He's another.
EJ?
Yep. He's got the initials, but he's a real good producer.
Is he?
Yes.
All right, sorry, I didn't know. Okay, so EJ, initial guy, so you guys will like him. But yeah, there is no love for anything west of the Hudson River. The hell
Yes.
with the Mississippi River.
No, not even the Mississippi. You can't get there.
Yeah. If you're outside of the New York metropolitan area, Jaden Ledee became Ricky Ledee. What was the water boy's name? Wasn't it Ricky? Bobby Boucher. Sorry. Yeah.
It might be Jaden Ledee's name by next week.
Yeah,
They keep talking.
You'd pick a woman. No, some guy. Yeah, Ricky Ledee. Anyway, when we come back, where does Russ land? What's best for Russ, and I think what's best for Russ is getting a job, right? I mean, whatever. And then is Dallas all in? Because Jerry Jones says, oh yeah, we were all in, and now, well, what's next? It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Hey, everybody.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505 897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Show that shit better than all my intentions. Make sure that you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready.
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, destroyed, brah. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom. Boom.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
Before us, the New York Honks and calling Jaden Ledee Ricky Ledee, as Sigler just told me, was a baseball player. Played for the Yankees amongst a bunch of other teams. Of course, they know who Ricky Ledee is. They're right there in New York because he's an average player and he played for a lot of teams for a lot of years, but played for the Yankees. So of course, they know who Ricky Ledee is and mix him up with Jaden Ledee, and the guy who brought up Jaden Ledee is like, yeah, that guy. Makes
Ricky
sense, right?
Ledee in his Final Four run last year.
Yeah, Ricky Ledee in his Final Four run last year. All right, a guest list for you today, JJ. 8:30, we're going to talk high school hoops. Sebastian Noel, the guru, the man of the people, the voice of the people, from ProView Networks. We're going to go through some of the brackets. High school brackets are out for the state tournament. I was trying to tell DC, man. I mean, this is one of the things New Mexico does right. New Mexico does the state basketball tournament right. Don't you agree?
Yes, they do.
Starts on Saturday. Brackets are out, so Seabass will be in, and we'll break it down for you. And then at 9 o'clock, Kenny will be here. Kenny Thomas, the former Lobo grade, 11-year NBA veteran, and we will kick it with Kenny and talk Lobo basketball and NBA stuff as well. All right, we're on the NFL, and Russell Wilson got notified of his release. Where will he go? I don't know. The spots are Pittsburgh, Atlanta, Minnesota. Is there a dark horse in there somewhere?
Las Vegas. That's the one that's
Vegas. Any of them, none of them make sense to me. But I've been so off the Russ bus for so long. So none of them make sense. Like if I'm any of those, if I'm a fan of any of you, I want to start over. I would rather have Bo Nix or Michael Penix. And I understand that this guy's going to cost you just about the same thing, at least for 1 year, right? And so I get that, and I know that there's a lot of you who think that, no, Russ is going to be good, and he's been good, and you're going to tell me his numbers last year, and 8th in the league. I got eyes, and what I saw tells me I need to go somewhere else. Plus, he's a diva. That's me. But where do you guys think he fits?
Pittsburgh.
Better than Justin Fields?
Yeah, because you don't have to give up anything to acquire Russell Wilson, and he is so much cheaper. Like, there's a chance that if Russell Wilson wants to, he can sign for $1.1 million.
And make the Broncos pay the rest.
And the Broncos owe him the rest of the money.
Yeah.
And if you can convince him to do that, that's going to make him very attractive to any of these teams. Because I think Russell Wilson is anything he says in public and trying to put a spin on it. He understands that his window is short, and for him to be successful, he's going to have to take one of these deals that is the league minimum and go to a place that feels like they're close, like the Pittsburgh Steelers. Just manage the game for us, make some plays downfield. Russell Wilson is not innocent in this as a football player. He wasn't good, but the Broncos weren't good. How many players on that offense are you taking? Like, when you start saying, I like this guy, I like that guy, run down the list. There's not many right now. And when you combine that with the disaster Nathaniel Hackett was for a year, he was a disaster as a coach.
Okay.
Sean Payton coming in not wanting Russell Wilson as his quarterback, but then having to play him and then making excuses all season long. So if I'm bringing in Russell Wilson, I'm not looking at, hey, this is the guy that's fixing my franchise for 5 years, but this is a guy that I can pay $1.1 million to. Figure it out. Like, if I'm in Pittsburgh, I think they would probably feel a lot more comfortable with Russell Wilson running offense than Justin Fields, with the way that they're built and what they.
Even with Arthur Smith going in there and kind of redoing what they're going to do offensively.
Oh yeah, because Arthur Smith is he's not an offensive guru. His offenses were the Tennessee Titans with Derrick Henry and Atlanta.
All right, I want to hear your thought, but as we go through it, DC, is he absolutely a starting quarterback, or is he a backup quarterback now?
So JJ brought this up. Russell Wilson is a diva. The RW3 brand is very, very important to him. And I will say, no one's buying $400 jeans from a backup quarterback. So there are some business elements.
Unless you're Tim Tebow.
I'm not aware of him selling jeans.
No, he didn't have jeans, but he could.
Perhaps. But he's on a different level. He's Timmy. He's good. Man, I tell you that because he is a businessman, almost as much as a football player, that brand recognition is going to be very important to him. So if he's going to take a league minimum, he's going to go to the place that gets him closest to a ring.
Which is what?
I mean, I kind of look at San Francisco as a possibility.
So you see him going there as a backup to Brock Purdy?
maybe he's convinced that he can take the job. But I'm
I'm
just
certain he's convinced he's going to win the job wherever he goes. Now, that doesn't mean he's going to.
True.
So San Francisco, huh? Sam Darnold out?
He's a free agent.
Yeah.
All right. So the minimum to go there to back up Brock Purdy, that's interesting to me. It's because he thinks he can win a ring. Well, then why not go back up Patrick Mahomes and sit on the bench?
If that opportunity was there, I think he'd take it.
I mean, well, that's interesting. All right. JJ, the Atlanta or the Pittsburgh one is interesting to me. Tennessee interests me a little bit, but I think they're sold on Will Levis, and I don't think they need that noise around him. If Minnesota does not re-sign Kirk Cousins, I could see him there as the stopgap for a year. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that, to me, the ones that jump out, it's Minnesota, Pittsburgh, and I even would throw the New England Patriots in there.
So you think they trade out of 3, sign him, he goes in with Mac Jones, they trade down or take a receiver? They take Marvin Harrison at 3?
Yes. I think trade down would be my first thing there. Potentially see them try to take a wide receiver 1 at 3. But it most likely, if they sign like a quarterback like Russell Wilson just to push Mac Jones and get by, it's probably the trade down scenario.
Then they're mailing it in again this year, right? I mean, but I guess they are anyway. There's no way. Golly. So they're just pushing back the clock on figuring out who their future quarterback's going to be. And that would be them saying it's Drake May and we're not sold on Drake May, right? Because there's also a real strong conversation out there that if Jaden Daniels slips to 3, Antonio Pierce, who coached Jaden Daniels previously, wants to move up to 3 and take Jaden Daniels to the Raiders, and so that would kind of fill your scenario. Then they would trade the Raiders' pick for New England's pick. Then Russell Wilson would make some sense there at New England, right?
Yeah.
If Jaden Daniels, that's interesting too. I just so we're do any of those feel right for you though? For like, or is this just a settle situation?
Oh, it's just a settle situation because you could just end up paying a guy that can actually just play football $1.1 million as a quarterback.
All right. Do you want him on your team? I mean, you guys just got rid of him. Like, if I'm the Rams, like, do I want him as a backup quarterback? I'm like, no, I'm good. The San Francisco thing that you just threw at me, it has me thinking a little bit. It's totally out of left field for me. And it makes no sense to me, but now it does because he's cheap. I mean, if he wants to be a backup and wants to go, I just don't know that I need that in a room. You know, can he be a backup quarterback? I didn't hear a word out of Sam Darnold or Carson Wentz or Cooper Rush or anybody this year. Did you guys?
No.
Is that the case with Russ?
It's to be determined because he's never been in that situation. He's probably
fair enough.
You know that he's going to talk, and DC mentions his brand. I didn't even know he had a brand. So
I didn't know RW3 was the thing either. To be honest with you, is that real?
Very much so.
And what is RW3? What does that sell me? Like if I look that up right now, which I'm going to. But what is it?
They sell a lot of clothes.
Really? Are they nice?
They have the designer stuff in the airport. They used to have one in Cherry Creek Mall that I think is closed now. But RW3, usually when he wears it, it's like hats and T-shirts.
Interesting. RW3 Venture. I see. There's a lot of RW3s out there. There's Ventures, Technologies.
He's highly invested.
Well, I don't think they're all his.
Probably not, but
interesting. All right, 505-246-0610. When we come back, the Broncos quarterback probably isn't going anywhere. In fact, Dak is, quote, definitely confident, end quote, that it'll happen. That's next. 505-246-0610. Spring break's around the corner, right? Spring is here. Felt like spring yesterday, didn't it? My eyes were red. I was sneezing. I felt the allergies are here. It's not good for your car either. It's not good for your beak, and it's not good for your car. I can't help you with your beak, but I can't help you with your vehicle. On the Spot Automotive Detailing can help you with your vehicle. They are the best. They've got the best services to keep your car protected, and they do it at your convenience, where it works for you and when it works for you. Look, your car is one of your biggest investments. Take care of it. On the Spot Automotive Detailing has the best services. They have their ceramic coating and paint protection film. They work like magic. We're talking no more mud, dirt, water stains. Plus, their protective layering helps prevent UV oxidation damage to your car's paint. They were awarded Best in the City in 2023 because they know what it takes to keep your car in the best condition. They will come to you and detail your vehicle. On the spot, that's what that means. When they're done, it looks and feels and smells like the day you took it off the lot, like it's brand new. It's all right there. You can look, you can book, you can buy. Online at otsdetailing.com. It's otsdetailing.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part,
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Mir here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Try this shit better than all my intentions. Like And shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I give you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Music and fashion together in an on-trend sportswear brand that inspires us to be better, do more, and give back. We
that's
believe
right.
that mind, body, and soul combine to make dreams come true.
That's right. Let's ride, JJ. All right, it's all in year for the Cowboys. That's what your guy Jerry Jones said. He's your owner. Owner Jerry Jones was all in for this season. He said at the Senior Bowl that the Cowboys were prepared to go all in for this season rather than plan for the future, as they have, in his words, every offseason since a free agent spending spree back in 2012. But he walked it back a little bit, JJ, at the Combine, that he's interested. What is all in? He says, yeah, I've heard that. Whatever. All in can't start until they figure out what they're doing with their quarterback. All right? So their quarterback's got all the leverage, basically. All right. Dak Prescott is in the final year of a 4-year, $160 million contract. His cap hit is $59.5 million this year. He has a no trade clause and a no tag clause, so he's got all the leverage. Quote from Dak: "I'm definitely confident. Obviously, it helps the team. It's important for the salary cap numbers. I've heard Jerry say that it's a process. Both sides understand. Everything is great. It will happen." That was his quote. I don't even know what that means. He was asked about, taking less money. What does it mean? He's confident it'll get them. And JJ, you've been confident the whole time. They're re-signing him. He's getting a new deal, right?
That's what I thought. I don't think it's going to be this season. Jerry Jones has walked a lot of things back over the last couple of weeks. And one of the things that he mentioned was they don't have to extend Dak Prescott right now. They can do some stuff to lower his cap number and then take it forward. And when you hear that coming from your owner, that's big time uncertainty where I don't think they're going to be locked in to try to get a long-term extension done with Dak Prescott this season.
Troy Aikman was at this event with Prescott yesterday. Troy Aikman, not only 3-time Super Bowl champion with the Cowboys, but on Monday Night Football and very in tune and very respected in the league. And he said that the future of Dak Prescott should not be in doubt. Quote Aikman now. I don't think it is. I think I don't know. I've been listening to you guys on television, radio. They have to do his deal, don't they? They have to free up some money. So he'll be here for a little while longer, and he should be. He's proven he can play at a high level. And I know that they've come up short as a team in the last few years, but he's been a great player in this league, and his best years are still ahead of him. End quote. Look, I think more, we spent a lot of time talking about Russell Wilson, who's 35, who could retire and just take that money. I think there's way more upside to Dak Prescott, obviously, and this is I'm not breaking news here, than Russell Wilson. I can see him still getting better. If he's your quarterback, I think you got to figure out a way to, if you're saying, fine, let's extend him for 2 years so we can make a run at this over the 2 years. Whatever your window is when you have a quarterback. I've been listening to so many screaming people on national shows lately, and I listened to this network, and I think in the last 30-something years, you go down, like 1 out of every 8 years, a non-NFL caliber quarterback wins the Super Bowl. You got to have a good quarterback, an NFL, a Hall of Fame caliber quarterback to win the Super Bowl. And then the next guy on the next show said, "I'm not selling my soul for a quarterback. You don't need a quarterback to win." Brock Purdy went to the Super Bowl. I think you need a quarterback to win, JJ. I think they have a quarterback. I think they believe they have a quarterback. You and I feel his ceiling's a little different, but I think we both agree that they've got to figure out how to put the best around this particular quarterback and make it work.
That's what every franchise is trying to do. And if I am a franchise that has a good quarterback that can flash top 5 ability, which is Dak Prescott, I'm not punting him to the side to restart there and fill the holes I have on my roster. And that's, where I come a lot with these quarterback conversations is I think it's broken. I think that people want to throw away good quarterbacks too often because we're caught up on this dude has to be elite. Yeah, there's one dude that's running the league right now, and it's Patrick Mahomes. It's going to take a lot to beat him. So what you're going to have to do is it's harder to find a quote-unquote elite quarterback because those are few and far between. Now, do you have a good quarterback that can compete, and then you focus on building that roster? That's what the San Francisco 49ers did is they built up a roster and they were able to insert good quarterback and be close to being great. Because when you're almost won a Super Bowl, that is greatness in the moment. If I'm the Dallas Cowboys, I get it. So many people have said, we've been there, done that with Dak Prescott. Why should we believe? Well, because I think that dude can play in the NFL. You have him go invest in the roster, because what we're doing this entire offseason right now, leading up to the draft, is teams that are desperate for a quarterback. And when you have that position, build your football team, because you still have to build a football team around a good quarterback. Even a quote-unquote great quarterback needs a team around him.
All right, so let me give you numbers. In numbers, to me, don't tell the whole story, but they tell a story. I still want to see Dak Prescott beat good teams on a regular basis. JJ, he's got to win playoff games. He's got to be able to beat the better teams, and they didn't do that this year. But the numbers tell you a story. Completion percentage, quarterbacks in the NFL, he was second at 69.5%. Passing yardage, he was third. Passing yards per attempt, he was sixth. Passing touchdowns, he led the league in passing touchdowns. Touchdown to interception ratio, he was second. 36 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. He was second in passer rating and second in something called expected points added per play. I don't even know what the hell it is, but it's a metric. The numbers say, I mean, if I blind resume that and I say, here's your quarterback, are you signing him? Every single one of you is saying, absolutely. Damn, okay, who's that? That's Dak Prescott. Now, they won their division. They lost a playoff game. And he was not good again in the playoffs. So at some point, and I get it when you're negotiating and you got an agent, you're sitting at a table and you're saying, look at all my numbers. That you want to get paid at the level. Well, I'm a top 5 quarterback, I'm top 3 quarterback in this league. Pay me. And at some point, Dak's going to have to understand also, if I pay you all that money, you don't get everything you want. You know, Tom Brady used to take a little break, right? And put some money back into the pool. So who is he? Is he the guy that it's all these numbers, you guys? And JJ, is he the quarterback that I just read you the numbers, who was runner-up for MVP, or is he the quarterback that we watched against the Packers?
Oh, it's a quarterback that we watched against the Packers, but that was also a Dallas Cowboys issue. Is that team needs... Can you name anyone else that rushes the passer for the Cowboys other than Michael Parsons? Because Michael Parsons is not, as good as people talk about him, he's not changing games like Myles Garrett, TJ Watt. So they need to have something opposite Michael Parsons. The linebackers, do you know one linebacker on that team? And you're going to tell me Leighton Vander Esch, when was the last time he played a football game? There's real holes with the Cowboys that I know, because we talk about them all the time. And you've said this, Jeff, and you're right. It's people tell me they're great. They're not great. They're just overhyped. But when I have a good quarterback, let me focus on those holes instead of creating a new hole at the quarterback position.
Yeah. I mean, it's Marquise Bell and Durance Armstrong, and he's more of an edge rusher, Armstrong. But yeah, look, when they beat up on the Giants and the Commanders early in the year, and I was hearing that they're the best defense ever. Remember, there was a conversation, are they the best defense in the league? There was a conversation, not just here, but there was a conversation, are they the best defense in the league? They gave up 48 points in the playoffs to Jordan Love and the Packers. I can decisively say they are not the best defense in the league. Is that fair?
That is absolutely fair.
Yeah.
And so do I want to then create another hole where I have to fix the defense and
so
fix my quarterback?
What is the answer? Extending him now? Extending him next year?
Yes, because if you do these deals now,
at what?
In 2 or 3 years, he's not a top 5 paid quarterback. The cap is going up. Contracts change. The longer you wait, the more you have to pay these guys.
So sign him now at what do you want to extend him for?
He's probably going to get whatever he's at now, plus a little bit more. Extend him out. Give him a big signing bonus so you can bring that cap number down. Try to build that football team.
Okay. All right, 505-246-0610. So Bronco fan and Cowboy fan, you got quarterback news. Let's go. What do you do? Broncos, where you go? Honestly, now, I mean, it's Jarrett Stidham and whatever you're getting in the draft. Do you want Michael Penix? Do you want to trade up? Do you want Bo Nix? Do you want? Does any of that stuff do anything?
What kind of relationship does Sean Payton have with Jerry? Call him up and say, hey, do you want this 12th overall pick? I'll take Dak Prescott off your hands.
Ooh. Not for the 12th. If he had third, he might do it. I mean, make the call. What the hell? I'll take Dak Prescott off your hands. Yeah. You want Dak Prescott? You know, you're shaking your head no.
I am starting to get on the J.J. McCarthy train.
Really?
Oh, my gosh.
You don't like that, J.J.?
No.
Any particular
That
reason?
is just another dude that's like Kenny Pickett 2.0. McCarthy, I think he could be a good backup quarterback. Someone's going to overdraft this dude, and we're going to be looking back going, how did that happen?
I think he's Mac Jones.
Could be. Very well could be.
Yeah. I mean, everybody loves him because he played for Harbaugh and he's smart.
Those are two things that are really important for
Well, he really impressed, you know, in the combine, sitting down and talking to people. And the other guys didn't play, right? So they didn't throw. And so I'm siding with JJ on this. I think he's fine. I'm not jumping up to make him my franchise guy. I'm just not. All right, let's go. 505-246-0610. Sebastian Noel's in at 8:30. We're going to go through the high school stuff as that tournament gets set to start. JJ and I are going to Vegas next week for the Mountain West Conference tournament, and we're going to have the opening drive there for you Monday through Friday, I believe, in some respect. One of us will be there each day, and want to say thank you to the people who are making sure that we are there for you. DSI Document Solutions Incorporated, New Mexico. Boost your productivity and reduce costs with DSI. Coleman Vision, perfect vision, perfect game. Airport parking, easier, quicker, smarter. Enchanted Mechanical, the heating and cooling doctor. The Frontier Restaurant, an Albuquerque tradition for more than 50 years. Looking forward to being there next year. When we come back, we get a little hoops tonight. And how you feeling about Lobo stuff? Senior night tomorrow, your final chance in the pit to see Jalen House, maybe Jamal Mashburn. Yeah, he's a senior, but he's always an opportunity to come back. And Nelly Jr. Joseph want to get into senior night and what that means. It doesn't mean the same thing as it always did, JJ, but it means something. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Hour.
This report is sponsored by Robert Half.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stunker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, rip, plastered, taint, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, backed by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
It's your quarterback. A little emotion in the NFL yesterday, too. Jason Kelce broke down. I thought that was pretty sincere. Dude, love what he was doing, love where he was doing it, called it a career. 505-246-0610, opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck, and DC. Tony, you want to talk about the Broncos? I think I sent out the bat signal. Hello, Tony.
Always want to talk about the Broncos. Always.
What do you do?
Some would say it's an odd kind of love, but anyway, who cares? You know. But here's my question. Bo Nix, do you guys think any chance of him falling to the second round?
Bo Nix the second round? I mean,
yeah.
Somebody's going to fall out. You know, we're talking about 6 quarterbacks now, maybe going in the first round. The top 3. And then some semblance of McCarthy, Nix, and Penix. Are all 6 going to go in the first round? I think somebody falls. Well, you don't want to take him at 12. You don't want to take him at 12.
It just look at. I would, but look at quarterback is, of course, everybody knows. Everyone with an ounce of brains, we'll put it to you like that, knows that quarterback is the most important position on the field.
Sure.
Okay, we all know that. Well, most, but anyway. But Denver's got so many holes that they can go anywhere with it, you know? But if you're not sold on that guy at quarterback, I mean, it brings back so many Paxton Lynch.
Russell
God,
Wilson.
So bad. But Denver needs edge rushers, unless they can get something else in free agency, because Denver put zero pressure, man. Like in the last couple of weeks, zero pressure on the quarterback. You know, and then it also, can you maybe get somebody else to team up with Pat Surtain? You know, and what are they going to do if Justin Simmons, if they let him go or they trade him? So Denver's got a lot of holes. Yes, biggest hole is going to be quarterback, but is Bo Nix really that guy that you grab at 12?
I mean, would you rather Michael Penix? I mean, is there a guy that you
I'm
like
not
at 12?
sold.
Yeah, I mean, look, people are telling you if J.J. McCarthy slips to 12, you steal him. I'm not either.
I'm not a big J.J. guy or J.J. McCarthy. I'm not, man.
See what he did there, J.J.?
Oh, did I really? A little faux pas there? But, you know, I'm just, McCarthy, I don't know. I just,
we're on the same page.
I look at these guys as, you know, what stats is he putting up and who's he putting them up against? You know, if a guy's throwing for 500 yards, but he's throwing them against Holy Mary, St. Mary Cross of the Episcopal college, that don't really mean much to me. So I don't know. I'm not sold with any of the bottom three quarterbacks at 12. I go edge.
Yeah. All right. Appreciate you, Tony. JJ, you going quarterback at 12 if it's Penix, McCarthy, and or Nix?
Well, I don't know what his last point meant, because those guys played in the Pac-12, won a national championship.
Yeah.
And I guess he wouldn't have drafted Josh Allen either then.
But the guys putting up the numbers of the Pac-12 did it basically every week. Now, there weren't great defenses. I'm going to give you that. Michigan did not play a good schedule, and they didn't get tested really until late in the season. A little bit against Penn State, then Ohio State.
You're talented. You either have the talent or not. It doesn't matter who you played in college. Because we can go down how many of these NFL rosters, and they're not all SEC guys.
Ben Roethlisberger came out of the MAC. I know.
For the Broncos and at 12, you're right. There's quarterbacks are going to slip. Like
somebody's going to be there at 12.
Someone's going to slip, and I think even past that, because who knows? What if there's a trade and someone jumps up and gets Drake May, and then you're sitting there 11, 12, 13. It's Minnesota, Denver, and Las Vegas. And these teams are going to be looking for their next quarterback. As Vegas jumps up, does something crazy, swaps with New England. I think New England comes down. You don't have to worry about them taking a quarterback. Maybe the Broncos trade back, get some assets, and take a chance on Michael Penix or J.J. McCarthy at that point in time if they slip down the draft board.
But here's the deal. Somebody in there is going to get Kirk Cousins. Somebody's going to get Justin Fields and fall out of that first round that I need a quarterback next. If Atlanta or Pittsburgh gets Justin Fields, I don't think they're drafting a quarterback. So
I agree.
Somebody's slipping, right?
And I think it's slipping even past 12 in the first round.
So you're sitting there at 12. You're the Broncos. Let's just say they're all on the board. McCarthy, Penix, Nix. Do you want one?
I think Denver has too many holes that guy would be set up for failure.
So you're going with Jarrett Stidham. Okay. What are you doing? You taking one? I know you're taking McCarthy.
To tell you the truth, I'm hopefully taking linemen at 12 because they need to start rebuilding. Tony's right. I mean, there's so many holes. Quarterback's fun to talk about, but
you need one.
You need a line first, to be honest.
Right. Opening drive, Jeff, JJ, DC. We're going to talk with Kenny Thomas at 9 o'clock. Kicking it with Kenny. High school brackets with the expert from ProView Network, Sebastian Noel, at 8:30 on the opening drive. 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Channel.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I give you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
or surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in Burquia. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico.
Dan
that would be an interesting poll.
What's that?
Do you want Jamal Mashburn Jr. back?
Well, Dan doesn't.
Yep.
He said, I said Nash to make it funny, Jeffrey, Juan Jose, and Donovan Caleb. In this era where guys can apparently play in college forever, where's he going? To a lower school to be a part-time starter like KJ Jenkins? This fan base who is, I've watched this fan base turn on players. I've watched it, I don't want to say regularly, but certainly not uncommonly over the last 27 years. But this fan base has turned on these two guards, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Especially on Mashburn. And
No doubt.
Mashburn, you thought he was one of the best players in the country because, you know what? He was one of the best shooters in the country. And he's been in a shooting slump this year, and he's been fighting through injuries. And I think we're going to find out when this year's over that Jamal Mashburn has been way more injured than they let on. And I am such a fan of Mash, way more than most of you guys are. And I understand his limitations on defense, and I understand that he hasn't been shooting well. But what that guy has done for this program, it came over when this program was
nothing.
Thank you. And the contributions he made, yeah, he was first team all-league last year. He's been in a shooting slump this year, and I firmly believe we're going to find out he's more injured. But
it was an injury to his shooting hand, correct?
Yeah. People think he's no good and he's getting overplayed. Dan's like, where's he going to go? He's going to be KJ Jenkins somewhere, and where'd KJ Jenkins go?
UNC Wilmington.
That sounds right. And be a part-time starter. Like what? Okay. If you tell me what school in this league wouldn't welcome Jamal Mashburn with open arms?
I think everyone would.
I know it.
this Lobo fans care, but they also use that as an excuse to say, well, we just care. We're not bashing these people. Like, they are so done with Mashburn House. And it's not a small minority, man. Like, when you see stuff go up on Twitter and it's crazy. Like 10, 11,000 impressions and the interactions, like, the season's not even over and people are looking forward to next year without Mash and House.
It's crazy to me because I'm staring at the poster on the wall right now with Mashburn and House, who've been the face of this program for the last 3 seasons, right? I mean, they have. Yep. They have. When Pitino came over, he brought Mash with him, which was, by the way, a tremendous get. And to keep him here and to keep House, to get House here, you had this dynamic backcourt. Yeah. Now, look, Richard needed to do something to get bigger and get defensively. They got burned, and obviously the last couple of weeks, offensively, they've been struggling. I just, man, oh man, I think almost anybody in this league and the majority of people in the country would take either one of those guys.
And I think with Mashburn, it's fair to have the conversation of rotation. Is he a 35-minute, 33-minute per game guy? Would he be better at 25 right now and working in more size with True Washington and Jamal Baker? Like, I think that's a fair conversation to have.
Yeah.
And I think that's what frustrated people more than anything is some of the deficiencies on the perimeter for the Lobos and the fact that Richard Pitino keeps telling you they're so small. Well, then manage it better. Don't play both those guys at the same time for 35 minutes. Like, I understand that conversation, but just to absolutely want to throw away these players, I don't get that. And especially just character-wise, when we talk about so many Lobo fans and college fans say, this isn't an era where I can't root for players. I don't know who these guys are. Well, they
these guys for 3
committed to university when you had 0 track record.
Yep.
And track record for college guys is what have you done in the last couple of years, not what did you do 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Or when did that banner hanging there is from 1970? That's cool.
It's cute.
Like
Kenny Thomas, who?
This is
really?
One where these guys committed to the University of Mexico. They've raised the expectations to the point where this is going to be a disaster of a season if they end up in the NIT and not the NCAA tournament. And ultimately, it's one thing you have to take a step back and you need to realize, like, Jamal Mashburn Jr. is the prototypical character guy you want, that you scream
Everything
you don't have these days in college basketball.
100%. I'm going to back down. I'm not going to go as far as disaster. I will go disappointment. If they don't get to the NCAA tournament, I'm not going to call it a disaster because I think the year was there was a lot of positives. I'll land on disappointment because of where the expectations have been raised over the last couple of years. I'm gonna back off disaster a little bit.
I might have been talking from a fan standpoint using that word.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I'm not ready to go there, and I know, although I know plenty of fans are. But the bashing on these guys and especially, dude, Mashburn is everything you want in a young man. Respectful, cerebral, measured, genuine, real, passionate. Like, dude, I mean, there's not a lot of dudes I want to date my daughter, but I hope she dates someone that's like that. You know what I mean?
And it's one too. Like, Mashburn is just playing the minutes the coach is giving him. And I don't ever watch Jamal Mashburn and think that dude's not trying. But we're getting a lot of that right now because the Lobos, what happened at Air Force, the loss at Boise State, well, it's going back to effort and the team quitting. And I think that is the last dude you'd look at and say that he would not be giving it everything on a basketball court.
And by the way, if he wanted to come back for another year, I think you welcome him with open arms. I think you just go, absolutely. Stephen, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. How you doing, Stephen?
You know, guys, I agree with a lot of things you say, but JJ, you're wrong, and I don't know what you read on Twitter. We must not read the same Twitter, because you know what? The negative people are the ones that are loudest. If you look at the reactions of the people that are bashing them, they're getting bashed more than anybody. I'm on Twitter a lot, and I read Lobo Twitter every single day. And you're wrong about this fan base having turned on them. There are those people that have, but for you to say that it's not a small majority, that's wrong. You're wrong. It is a small majority. It's just those are the people that are loudest. It's always been that way with Lobo fans. The ones that are negative are the ones that are loudest. The ones that support these guys in and out are the ones that will come on and bash these guys that are telling them to stop talking about these guys on Twitter because they read that stuff. I don't know what you read, and having 11,000 impressions of a tweet that's negative doesn't mean that everybody that watched that tweet agrees with it. I completely agree with you having that they turned on them.
Stephen, what you're saying is, what you're reading is the majority of those negative posts, people are pushing back on them. So there's a lot of traffic on, there's a lot of impressions, but you're feeling that more Lobo fans are pushing back on the people that are bashing them, and that it's a minority that have turned on these guys.
There's a lot of people that go on there and say, you stop bashing these guys. They've done more for the program. And a lot of people will retweet that, like, this guy is wrong. This is what's wrong with Lobo fans. I see that a lot. If you go to the New Mexico Lobos page that somebody built on Twitter, you'll see that. Like, you know what? People go in slumps, but I know that this fan base would absolutely welcome one with open arms. And you have to remember one thing. We have probably one of the older fan bases in the country. So probably half the season ticket holders.
They're not on the Twitter anyway. Yeah. No, that's good.
So
Stephen, appreciate you.
Disagree with what you're saying.
Yeah, no, I appreciate the call. And we're, I'm fine with dissenting opinions. Well, so what he's telling you is what you're reading is a vocal minority, basically. And maybe he's right, maybe he's not. I don't know.
You know what? I'm fine with that. I appreciate that. And I think sometimes, I'm not. I know you say it all the time, Jeff. Like the hats you wear. I'm so pro player, man. I'm like still just in awe of the job I get to do, and I'm around student athletes all the time, and it's really opened my eyes to things, on a day-to-day basis, like being on the road with the women's basketball team and seeing the life of a student athlete and what they do and what they go through. Because the thing is, to his point of painting with a broad brush, we don't want to do that, and I'm fair. I'll take that pushback, because the thing that when he says it's not the majority of people, but it's also the fact that all these athletes are on their phone. So they're getting tagged in it. They're seeing it. And it's a challenge, man. And it's something that it's hard to deal with. It's even hard for adults to handle. When you have that much pushback and things going at you. So I appreciate that passion, because that's what I'm talking about, man. Like, this stuff matters. Sport matters. This community rallies around basketball. And I think it is a time where you have to have an honest conversation about who and what you're saying and how far you're going with things when it comes to student athletes. And I appreciate that right there.
Yeah, and look, if you got a different impression on it, that's fair. And JJ, I appreciate where you are on that. Guys, somebody said it. Who was on the show recently? It said this town, when Lobo basketball is thriving, it just buzzes. I don't know if it was Kenny or somebody, but this town buzzes when Lobo basketball is playing well, when they're ranked, when they're beating ranked teams. Dude, remember that week where they beat San Diego State and Utah State in the pit? And the whole town was just popping, and the passion. And I've told you this, and I'll stand by this. Passion works both ways, right? And so when you lose to Air Force, and people are upset, and passion isn't rational. I think we all know that. I mean, passion, when you beat San Diego State and Utah State, and everybody was telling me, they're going to the Elite Eight or Final Four, and everybody wasn't telling me that. But when I heard that all right, let's just watch this whole thing play out. By the same token, when you lose to Air Force, are they done? Not necessarily either. But we live and die in the moment as fans. And I get it. And that's what passion is. The passion goes both ways. And that's what Twitter or X is there for. And you got a thumb and you got a phone and you can throw out. I've read some stuff on there where I just scratch my head. And there's a few people who obviously just live and die and breathe this. And their mood is swung by whether or not Lobo basketball wins or loses every week or, twice a week. And you get it. It's that way with the football team, with the Broncos, with the Steelers, with the Cowboys. Pick a team. I mean, that's, JJ, to your point, that is the beauty of sports. That's why we do this. And hopefully you enjoy when you win, right? But, Stephen, I appreciate where you're coming from. I mean, Stephen got mad because he said, no, man, that's not the majority of us. That some people out there, the majority of us are pushing back on him. And I think what he's saying is, what I'm saying is, if Jamal Mashburn says, you know what, I got a COVID year and I want to come back and play again, and there's NIL money for him, and it works out. And I think Richard Pitino takes it back in a heartbeat, and I think this fan base should be thrilled if you get another year of Jamal Mashburn.
I agree with that. I'm on board with that. He's a high character player. He's a good basketball player. And are there some limitations? Sure. But, right now that's one. If you look at Richard Pitino and the conversation has been brought up, you can't do a complete 180 at this point in time, but you've seen enough. You've seen the 2 games against Boise State. You've seen what happened against UNLV, that there has to be, even at this point in the season, a willingness to do something on the perimeter. Maybe mix and match a little bit more with your guys, because you know the ceiling. Because this is still the same team that, with Donovan Dent, Jamal Mashburn Jr., Jalen House on the floor, blew out Utah State and San Diego State.
Yeah.
They can play at an incredibly high level.
All right, let me give you 2 more. I was reminded that Isaac Mushila is a senior, so is Mustafa Amsil. So senior night tomorrow, House and Mashburn, Jamal Baker, Nelly Jr., Joseph, Isaac Mushila, and Mustafa Amsil. 505-246-0610. Keep them coming. You're not going to convince me differently, but I'll listen to other points. If you can somehow get another year, if Jamal Mashburn Jr. says, yeah, I want to use my COVID year and come back, that's a home run, man. The answer is absolutely yes. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Mir here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I give you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Spell, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
you better.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
Albuquerque's leader in sports is Pro View. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows.
Play tomorrow. Lobo basketball does senior night. Then in Logan on Saturday, and then probably next Wednesday, maybe next Thursday, but probably next Wednesday, they open up at the conference tournament in Las Vegas. The ladies play tonight in Fresno. We'll be at the conference tournament, Mountain West Conference Tournament, live here on The Sports Animal. The ladies will be here on The Sports Animal. The men over on News Radio KKOB. JJ and I will be there thanks to the Frontier Restaurant, an Albuquerque tradition for more than 50 years. Enchanted Mechanical, the heating and cooling doctor. DSI Document Solutions Incorporated, New Mexico. Boost your productivity and reduce your costs with DSI. Airport parking, easier, quicker, smarter. And Coleman Vision, perfect vision, perfect game. 505-246-0610. We're talking about senior night and the seniors and kind of Jamal Mashburn and House and how fans are. And I said I've seen this fan base turn on people over the years. JJ, you said you've seen a group of fans, or certainly some on the Twitter turn on Jamal. We had a caller say, "Look, it's a minority." Whatever it is, I'm telling you, if that young man says, "You know what? I got a COVID year and I'm going to use it and I want to come back," you welcome him with open arms. I got the text from Mike. It says, "Same ingredients. Why would you expect different results, Jeff? You have the same undersized guards. Will Nelly for Odesi probably not as good. Toppin's more athletic than Alec, but." Lobo basketball broke from the 6th hole last season and likely a 6th seed this year. I just, first of all, I'm not convinced Donovan Dent's going to be back. I hope he is. But I know what kind of player Jamal Mashburn was the last 2 years. I'm going to call this year the anomaly. I think he's injured. You want to give me that guy back? I'm in.
I agree with that. And it's one, too, that if you roll into next year, your starting 3 spot is open and center. And the first way I'm going to talk about this is assuming that JT Toppin and Donovan Dent are members of the Lobo team. And then if you can fill Mashburn as your starting shooting guard and get bigger at the 3, I think that definitely helps, because if your starting backcourt is, what is Donovan Dent? Like 6'1", 6'2", right there with Mash. Mash might be 6'1". You can get by if you get bigger at the 3. And then the rotation from there. I think that would be a solid starting point for next year's class, especially with the players that are coming in and the transfer portal, man, filling holes.
And the portal. Jeffrey, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Jeffrey.
Hey, good morning. You know, it's really funny as you know, a team becomes successful, and I'll stick to talking about the Lobos, as we've gotten, you know, better throughout the year, and the team was, you know, on their we'll call it on their upswing with the wins. Towards the end of the year is when you see a lot of fans who you don't normally see at the game showing up. And it's easy to tell those fans, because when I'm walking to the game, those fans with their girlfriends are walking away because they don't know the clear bag policy. You know what I mean? You can kind of see who's showing up for the spectacle, and you kind of get to know the people around you in your season ticket seats and all that. And I think with Mash and and Jalen House being the quote-unquote face of the program, of course they're going to take the most heat, right? It doesn't matter how good they played. It doesn't matter how bad they played. So the people that are kind of the fair weather fans or even just the, in general, negative Nellies are going to pin all their anger and all their stuff on them. So if you decide to show up to the Air Force game because, you know, Lobos are winning and that's the game you decide to go and be a part of the in crowd and they lose, you know, you're going to be like, oh, those guys aren't as good as we thought. But the fact is, and you're spot on, is if you have a chance to get Mash back next year, you absolutely take it. One, because he's a great player. He just is, okay? And I think you're right. I think we're going to find out he's injured. Two, because he brings stability, maturity, and experience to the team. Yeah. And so for those who say, like, oh, same ingredients, same results, I mean, you know, that's ridiculous. I mean, come on. We got some size coming in just from the couple of players who've already got committed to us. We've got a good coach. And am I disappointed? Yes, I'm super disappointed in the last couple of weeks because I'm a crazy Lobo fan. And when we're doing great, it's always, is this going to be the year? And then when this happens, we're like, oh, damn, same thing. But just hang out, just enjoy it. And remember, at the end of the day, these are student athletes. These are kids. And regardless of being in their young 20s, you know, some of them like Baker Jr., you know, 35, 36 years old. You know, these BYU guys look at him and be like, damn,
how many
he's old.
senior nights has that dude had, actually? I wonder, like, how many sets of flowers he's gotten and how many senior nights he's had.
I hope he gets a good one. I hope he gets a good one tomorrow night. But just remember, these are kids, and sometimes we project a lot of our own stuff onto them because we put a lot on their shoulders. And so at the end of the day, they're athletes playing the game. And do we take it way too seriously sometimes? Maybe. Yes. Is it good to have high expectations? Yes. But Pitino says it a lot, and even though I get frustrated, don't get too high, don't get too low. Just enjoy the ride.
Right on, man. Hey, I appreciate you. JJ, is Nelly? Does he have a COVID year too? Could he come back?
I think we might need to text Mr. Kirkland.
Yeah, I'll find out some of that stuff.
To get the official answers with some of these players on the roster. I appreciate the conversation because I think one of the things that's easy to do is just it is easy to get caught up in a wave of emotions, whether you're inside or outside of whatever is going on. And I think that's why I enjoy this so much. It's just so many people care and it matters and it resonates and it's what basketball means in this state. It's fun, but you know, to Jeffrey's point, it's the good and the bad. And sometimes the bad is hard to handle. Sometimes that's more than just criticizing a shot or a game plan. And those are the things that you have to navigate even as an athlete or as a fan, battling back and forth with all these differing opinions on whatever happens.
Yeah, and Toby said, I think Nelly can come back pretty sure. Mashburn's a stud. He can go anywhere and start most places. This guy's funny. He's upset, LOL. The guy is Steven who is calling and disagreeing with you. All right, we're going to slide over to high school when we get back. Tournament is set to start this weekend. State high school tournaments is one of the best in the country. Sebastian Noel, the voice of the people, the expert, the guy who follows it all year from ProView Network is going to be with us. We're going to what you need to know, what you should be watching, whom you should be watching. It's next. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Hour.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. The drunk driver hit us, and my wife, and our daughter, they didn't make it.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Spout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
Albuquerque's leader in sports is Pro View. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on Pro View Networks.
That Nelly and Amsil both have COVID years. So 4 guys will go through senior night. It'll be House, Mash, Mushila, and Baker. So both, and I don't know, do you read into it that neither Amsil or Nelly are going to go through senior night?
Yes.
What do you read?
That MASH is
probably
up in the air.
Yeah. All right, we'll get more into that. Look, we get a lot of complaints in the state. New Mexico's this and that. Let me tell you something New Mexico does right. the high school basketball tournaments. They do it right, and it will start on Saturday this week at campus sites, and then move into the pit in the Rio Rancho Event Center and culminate at the pit at the end of the week and the weekend. And the Voice of the People is the guy who follows this and does them all year, and you listen to him over on ProView Networks. And I miss him. He's Sebastian Noel. Where the hell you been? Why you're not coming on our show anymore? I'm kidding. How are you?
Good, man. I was just listening to you preach. You're right. This is I'm a little biased, but this is the event on the sports calendar for me, for sure.
Well,
I think it's the best.
I've been trying to tell DC, and this is, he's relatively new to the state. I said, dude, Washington did it really well. I hear Indiana does it well. This is one of those things that, man, it's good. It's really, 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 really good. What should I be looking for, man? What's if somebody says, all right, I'm DC and I'm here, fine, I want to go look at it. What do I have to go see?
Well, a couple of things before I go into the obvious, but if it gets that far and you want him to really experience why it matters to the state, the whole state, if we get a 3A girls championship game between Tehachapi and Navajo Prep, have him check that out and see how full the pit is for a 3A girls game. He'll get it after that.
Those communities empties, DC, or like of Gallup or Shiprock or Tehachapi. I got to see Bella Hines at some point. And El Dorado is the 7th seed in girls 5A. They get Albuquerque High this weekend, and then they might get Sandia next week. And she's kind of the must see, isn't she? It's kind of crazy how Caitlin Clark is the biggest name in women's college basketball. I think Bella Hines, unless I'm missing something, is the biggest name in the state.
No, you're spot on. I mean, I think we talked about it on the broadcast last week. Hey, we're talking high school hoops. The first word that comes to mind is Bella. She moves the needle, and there's a reason. I mean, yeah, you have to get on and watch her. Now, that's a tough opening round matchup, so you might need to go check out the opening round because there's no guarantee that El Dorado gets past that opening round, right? I mean, I think they will, but you just never know. Albuquerque High is a district champion. I think it would be really great for the state of New Mexico to have her playing at the pit on that stage, but that's definitely not a guarantee.
Will you put into perspective what she's doing for people who don't, and those of you who don't know, Bella Hines is breaking every scoring record in the state. El Dorado star guard. She's got offers from everywhere, including like LSU. I mean, what is it, 30, 40 of Division I offers. She is, if I'm not mistaken, the highest recruited girls basketball player ever in the state of New Mexico.
Yeah, I mean, there is no comparison. And if you're in the camp that somehow doesn't believe that, then either one, you're not watching, or two, there's something else going on there. Whether it's you don't like the way social media reacts to her, but there's some other reason that would lead you to not admit that you are watching greatness. It's as simple as that.
He's Sebastian Noel, ProView Networks, the man of the people, the voice of the people, and he's back on our show.
Well, Sebastian, how does 5A girls play out? You look at Hobbs is a 1 seed, Sandia is a 2. Are they on a path to match up, or is there another sleeper in there?
I mean, there's certainly teams that could pull upsets along the way. I mean, if you look at the top half of the bracket there for Hobbs, you talk about a tough road to a championship. They have to face La Cueva, who they lost to in the Metro tournament, and they had that controversial game at the pit with the ejections. So they could face La Cueva. That's if La Cueva gets past Rio Rancho. Then they would have to face Volcano Vista again, this time in the semis, just to make it through their top of the bracket. I think the only team that could give Sandia a game in the entire bottom of the bracket would be Farmington, but Sandia has dealt with Farmington all year in their district, so they're comfortable there. I don't see much standing in the way of a Hobbs and Sandia final, but you never know.
I look at, let's switch over to the boys, 5A, Volcano Vista, Oregon Mountain 1 and 2 there. What do you see playing out in that bracket?
I mean, you got to try to convince yourself, okay, who could beat Volcano Vista? But if we put the Hawks aside for just a moment and talk about the others, Atrisco is playing really well right now. They top my list of teams that could maybe give Volcano Vista a challenge. They have two fantastic stars. I mean, just studs in Latavius Morris, Marquise Renfro. They play up and down offensively. They have enough weapons. The last couple of times they played Volcano Vista, they stepped up to the challenge defensively, which I think that's the key. They got to guard better, so they can do that. Cleveland's right there. They've done it before. They beat them in the Hobbs tournament, right? They got a really special player, go-to guy by the name of Daniel Steverson. And then the team down south, Oregon Mountain, they're saying, hey, we were a play away in last year's tournament. We just inbound the ball once cleanly. We beat that Volcano team. So those are the teams, but make no doubt, it's a heavy, heavy task. Volcano Vista is the favorite, and they're the favorite for a reason, with Kenyon Aguino, with David Lunn, with David Gutierrez, and the way they guard. The whole team guards. It's not just one guy. Their defense, their go-to guy, the defending Gatorade Player of the Year. They're the heavy favorites. I don't see anyone beating.
Sebastian Noel, the voice of the people from ProView Networks, is with us. I've never seen this happen. So they had to reissue the bracket for Boys 4A the other day. So Highland wins their district championship. Valley got beat by Academy on Saturday in that district championship. And initially came out Valley was 1 and Highland was 2, and they reissued the bracket, if I'm not mistaken. And then you've got 3 at Hope Christian, defending state champion Academy at 4, St. Pius at 5. Have you ever seen something like that happen before?
No, I mean, it was, by all indications, it sounded like it was a clerical error when they were inputting some data onto their master sheet or whatever. Hey, look, there's nothing but good people over there. They make mistakes. It happened, Actually, I think if you're a Valley fan, you should be happy. The bottom half of the bracket's easier, in my opinion.
I think that's right.
And they're still the favorite to win the championship, in my opinion. But yeah, let's just play the games. These things happen.
Is there a first-round matchup in 4A that you really like? Because I mean, Artesia and Hope interests me a little bit because I think Artesia always is good. Is there something that stands out to you?
Well,
there's a game I got to go see Saturday night. Where am I going?
Now you're talking about 4A only?
I'm talking period. I'm in the metro.
all
I'm DC, and I'm in the metro area, and I want to go see a game on Friday. Who do I got to go see? Or on Saturday? Who do I got to go see?
I think I would point you towards La Cueva and El Dorado, or Farmington and Atrisco. Those are the 2 5A games. Obviously, La Cueva just lost to El Dorado late in the season, so that's a 5-12 matchup. El Dorado thinks they can win that game. They did it less than a couple of weeks ago. And Farmington's really solid. They got a player that not a lot of people know about by the name of Devin Vasserstein. He's going to be playing in northern New Mexico. He's pretty good. So, if they keep that game tight, they could steal it at the end. 4A first-round matchup, Academy Gallup game. Maybe Gallup gives them a game. I doubt it. I think Academy's got to turn things on here for the tournament.
McCleskey was out of a boot, too. I know, and that's your defending champ, who's their sharpshooter. Didn't play in the district tournament. He was in a boot, and I think he was out of it but didn't play on Saturday, which I think is significant for them. That's a key player for them.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, he's one of their leaders. He can shoot lights out when he gets going. There's no doubt. I mean, if he's not healthy, then that puts a huge question mark on Academy, and then maybe we don't have that all Metro Final Four. I think 4A is more than likely going to be an all Metro Final Four.
All right.
I got one more for you. One more that's a little below the surface.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. I like this.
If the number 9 seed, and again, JJ, this speaks how popular women's college basketball is, and now it's seeping down to the high school level. If the number 9 seed in 1A, Corona Vaughn, can get past Camado in the opening round, then you could see their 6'5" freshman. That's right. I said 6'5" freshman stud, Harper Dunn, on the girls' side. They'll be at Bernalillo in the quarters. That team would have to go all the way to the championship to be seen at the pit. So I don't think that's going to happen. But if you want to see Harper Dunn, who I know a lot of has been written about her, she's in Albuquerque. She would have. This is wild. If she would have stayed in Albuquerque, stayed in the district she lived in, not gone to the farm or ranch there in Corona, she would have played at El Dorado with Bella Hines. That would have been scary. But she's also getting a lot of D1 looks already, obviously.
And she's a freshman, you said?
Yeah.
6'5" girl freshman, so she's probably going to grow a little bit. And she's good? You've seen her?
She was in town once. Got a chance to see her. I mean, obviously she's dominating that 1A level, right? So those looks aren't coming because she's dominating 1A against Camado. Those D1 looks and offers are coming because she's also doing it on the club scene, right?
Yeah, and that's where it's going to be for her, right? If you're coming, as you said, off the farm, but if you're coming from Corona or Vaughn and you're going to get it, it's going to be on the club level. It's going to be the AAU level. You know?
Right.
All right. How do people watch? And I know you're doing the games, and this is one of those where you guys, ProView Networks just shines. You and the network, you get all these games on the air. You do them so well. How do people watch if they're not able to get to all these games? I know you guys have them covered.
Yeah, Jeff, you get an NFHS Network is the exclusive home of playoff basketball, so purely NFHS Network from this point forward. We'll try to cover as many first-round games on Friday and Saturday as we can. We're a little limited there, but we
need
still
me to do a
get
game?
a ton.
You need me to jump in and help again? I mean,
we might be calling you. We might be going to the pen, so you stay loose.
I've gotten Addie asked me, Dad, because I've gotten Academy Goddard the last 2 years. And she's like, if Academy plays Goddard, are you going to do that game again? I'm like, absolutely. But yeah, no. If you need me, to pull one off, I always enjoy that.
Yeah, no, you guys stay loose, absolutely. And then once we get to that, past the first round, we have all games at the pit, all games at the Rio Rancho Event Center, and all games for Bernalillo. Just one day in Bernalillo this year, but we'll have all of those for you. So the tournament pass is more than worth it.
Is it NFHSnetwork.com or they go to ProViewNetworks.com?
Either one. ProView Networks will get you to the right place. You can go to NFHS Network as well.
All right, man. Enjoy it. We'll probably catch up with you at some point next week and get an update midweek on how it's all going. But you can catch Sebastian and the whole ProView Network crew. They do an unbelievable job on the NFHS Network. Safe travels, my friend. I know you're traversing the country today and tomorrow. Safe travels, and always appreciate the conversation.
Appreciate you guys. Hope to see you guys out there.
All right, be well. Sebastian Noel, the voice of the people, and he's good. Jay, did you know about the 6'5" freshman from Corona Vaughn?
I have heard about her.
All right. Did Bradbury on her yet?
I don't know where the Lobos stand on her, but it's one that if you have a player in your state like that, jump on them early and at least say, hey, we're here. Because it's the one you see it all the time. Like there's the post player for Wyoming, Allison Furtick.
Yeah.
Random town you've never heard of in Wyoming, and she's an all-conference player.
Yeah. And evidently Harper Dunn is her name. She was here and would have been at El Dorado, and they moved out to the rural parts of the state, and that's where she is. All right, 505-246-0610. If you want to see the tournament and you don't want to wear contacts or glasses, maybe go see my friend Dr. Stephen Coleman before, and you can watch the tournament and everything else without glasses. You can get LASIK. I did. Dr. Coleman took care of me 20-plus years ago, and I'm still glad he did. Not many things change your life. This changed my life for the better. And Dr. Coleman's been doing this since 1998. He's been working wonders for thousands of people who were like me, were tired of struggling with contacts and glasses, and they got LASIK. I had astigmatism, kind of a pretty high degree of astigmatism. That's why I went and see him. He took care of it for me. The technology he uses is cutting edge, and he played a significant role in developing and testing this current technology. It's not only used here in New Mexico, but around the world. Technology that originated at Sandia Labs in New Mexico. And for years, people come from all over the country to have their LASIK done at Coleman Vision because they know of Dr. Coleman's reputation. He is the best. He's been in private practice, specializing in LASIK his entire career. Who does this? You, me, common people, firefighters, police officers, nurses, housewives, just people who are done with contacts and done with glasses and just want to be free of that. You're going to hear stories throughout the month here on These Sports Animal that are going to give you an idea how LASIK with Dr. Coleman has positively impacted people's lives. It's a quick procedure. Dr. Coleman will even let you watch him do it with another one of his patients. That'll give you the confidence you need. Reach out and make an appointment. Coleman Vision, 505-821-8880, 505-821-8880, or online at colemanvision.com.
This report is sponsored by
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit InternationalProtectiveService.com.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated,
ripped,
plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services.
He's a smaller guard. you're right. He's not a great defender. But again, if that's what Lobo fan has decided, then okay. I mean, if you think he's lackadaisical on defense, and I don't think he is. And like I said, I think 90% of those teams in America, I mean, that includes your Dukes and your Carolinas, would find a place for that guy. Don't you think? If he goes in the portal and wants to be a grad transfer at Kansas, at Duke, at UCLA, I think they're thrilled to have him, don't you?
They would be.
Now, they've got bigger guards right? And remember, House isn't going to be here next year. And I hope Dent is, but you're going to look different next year. Maurice says, it's up to Dickie P. Jeff, what if the NIL decides to use their George Washies elsewhere than a small sixth-year guard? Well, I mean, if there's no NIL money for Mashburn, he wants to come back, then he'll be somewhere else. First of all, it's up to him. Like, you got decisions, man. Whenever this season ends, whenever it ends, Mashburn's got to decide, does he want to go do something else, whether that's play somewhere else, go pro, or use his COVID year and stay here. Amsil and Nelly decide, do they want to use their COVID year and stay here? And what I was just told is they're not going through senior night tomorrow. That it's going to be House, Mash, Baker, and Mushila. Nelly and Amsil aren't going through senior night, but Nelly and Amsil have that COVID year. Do they want to stay? How are you keeping Dent and Toppin? How much money is in that collective, Kurt Roth, right? And how you keep it all together? If you're going to tell me I'm starting next year with whatever I got coming in, and I'm starting with Dent and Nelly and Amsil and JT Toppin, it's a hell of a start, no?
It's not too bad.
Kenny Thomas is here. What's up, Kenny Thomas? Music's playing. We're going to break. I just want to say hi, Kenny Thomas.
Man, you can't bring me up before break talking about.
No, I was just saying. I just said
about.
hi. I didn't bring you up here. I just said hi. Kenny Thomas will be here next because he's here now. We'll kick it with Kenny. We'll get into this.
Oh yeah, bring it.
A lot of Lobo talk. They play tomorrow.
How many years do these kids get now, man? Somebody
7,
just qualified for
8.
9 years.
You seen their hairlines?
Man, if I would have had 9 years, man.
What if you had 9 years?
Oh my goodness.
And NIL money.
Ooh.
It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Channel.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stunker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated,
Rip,
plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight. Boom! Boom!
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Final week of the regular season. Ladies play in Fresno tonight. That's where JJ is. So Kenny Thomas is sitting in JJ's seat. JJ's on my Zoom. He's in Fresno. Ladies will play tonight. 6:30 pregame, 7 o'clock, UNM and Fresno State here on the Sports Animal. Tomorrow night at the Pit, 8:30 start, 8 o'clock pregame, and about midnight postgame with Lobo Live with Kenny over on News Radio KKOB, Lobo's senior night against Fresno State. What's up, Kenny Thomas?
How you doing, man? What's up, JJ?
What's good?
He just was over on the Big Stick over there with Bob Clark.
Living life.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, and then I come over here to this chair, and it feels terrible.
You can go get that chair and bring it in, man. The big cushion padded chairs. That
Somebody's got to tease JJ, man.
Yeah, that's all right. All right, we've been talking a lot of Lobo stuff. Can I just start here? If Jamal Mashburn, I have no idea what he wants to do. All right, and we had a caller. You know, JJ said a lot of Lobo fans turned on him. The caller came in and said, "Look, it's a minority. Most of us love him."
He's a minority.
No, the people who are bashing him are in the minority.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you where we are. I think JJ and I are on the same page. If Jamal Mashburn wants to come back and use his COVID year, you hit a home run. I think that Jamal Mashburn had an off year. I think he's more hurt than we know. And if he decides to use a COVID year and transfer, I think he would go to Carolina, Duke, UCLA, Kansas. I mean, like I think you're thrilled if he decides to come back. Where are you?
Why you? Okay, first off, COVID year.
You get a COVID year. He can use another year.
And then, I mean, there's so many other kids around that's playing Division I basketball. How many years can you get, man? Somebody just got approved for 9 years.
Yeah, I saw that. The tight end at Miami.
That's insane.
Yeah, but that's not the story. I mean, that's another
but
story.
Still, though, man.
You got 9 years.
I don't know.
What if you had 9 years in NIL?
Man, imagine how much older and wiser I would have been going into the NBA.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah. Stacks. Ooh.
I know.
No, man, him coming back. See, Mashburn's my guy, man. He reminds me of his father, right? I played against his dad when I was in the NBA, and I think Mashburn, last game, he had 19 points. Like, we're not, I mean, what do we want? We want him to have 30?
Well,
obviously,
you want him to be bigger. People want him to be bigger.
But
they want him
not.
to play better defense, which, look, I don't think he's horrible defensively. Is he limited because he's smaller? Yeah, probably. To me, he's character. He's everything you want in a player. He was a great player the last 2 years. He didn't forget how to play ball to me. I just think he's hurt. I think there's something going on.
You got to think about the backcourt. The backcourt is small in general. I mean, you can't just we just can't point out Mashburn being small, right?
I agree.
And I feel like if they had a bigger three, right? But I feel like the Lobos are not that great in the half court set when it comes to defense. But when Nelly and JT are playing long, which the Lobos are second in steals, second or third in steals, and no, I think they're sixth in the country when it comes to blocks and steals, right?
Okay.
So they're doing certain things. Obviously, there's going to be situations to where the Lobos are not going to do everything right, and there's going to be times to where certain things stick out, right? First we were killing them about free throws. Now they're making free throws, right? But the huge key of it all is the perimeter shooting. I think that's where they're lacking a lot of it.
They don't have a sniper.
Yeah, man. And I had a sniper. I had Royce Only, and I had some other people that can shoot, right?
Kevin Henry after you?
Yeah, I played with Kevin Henry for 2 years. We were roommates for 2 years.
He led the corner three.
But I think it comes with confidence, and sometimes you can get caught up in the noise on the outside with everything and the expectations, especially around this community. You can't walk around this community without somebody giving you some feedback. But these last 2 games have been bad. Air Force was a huge letdown, but Boise State was a pretty good game, and it's a hard team to beat on the road.
He's Kenny Thomas. We're kicking it with Kenny here on the Sports Animal.
Well, Kenny, even when you're this late in the season, you're not doing a 180. You're not changing who you are. But what are some things you can do, as you mentioned, the half-court defensive sets? If the Lobos are not turning teams over, what can they do to be a little bit better on that end?
Well, the Lobos are great when it comes to playing the passing lanes, right? And transition. When they're moving and using their quickness, obviously their backcourt, and you got JT, that's one of the most athletic guys in the league right now. I feel like they need to capitalize on that. But you got to also keep in mind when there's teams that are longer, there's a situation that comes into play because the backcourt's small, right? And it affects the overall team when it comes to the Lobos. I feel like they got away from the pick and roll. They got away from certain things to where they need to pound the ball in a little bit more. Like there needs to be a little bit more respect there. And then when JT demands a double team, kick it out and see what happens. I feel like they settle for the perimeter shot when they should not have to.
I want to clarify something. I've heard this a couple places. Maurice JJ earlier said, what if Pitino wants to use his NIL money elsewhere instead of MASH? And 2 people have told me that Richard said recently, and I believe this to be true, MASH doesn't take NIL. He says he doesn't need it. He use it elsewhere, so he's not taking NIL.
Oh, really? He's not?
And JJ, that was my understanding also. Did you understand that?
I've heard different.
Did you?
What do we know?
No, we don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know. Kicking it with Kenny here on the Sports Animal.
Yeah, and I think we've seen with this Lobo team the ceiling that they have, and what's frustrating. Watching the Air Force game, watching the Boise State game, those are the 2 teams, UNLV and Boise State, that they struggle. But when you blow San Diego State out of the building, you blow Utah State out, there's got to be a middle ground this team can find. So what are you expecting to see out of them this week, and then especially when they get to Las Vegas?
Yeah, when you talk about San Diego State and Utah State, those games are at home. Sold-out crowd. The energy's there. Going on the road, it hasn't been the case. I think the Lobos
it was sold out in energy the other day in Boise.
See, but that's in Boise, which is against you, right? And then you have to that first 10 minutes of that game, I felt like they were in it, and then they were still in it at halftime. The second half, there wasn't as good as execution as they were doing in the first half, and I felt like they were being patient. Being on the road, you have to be a little bit more patient opposed to being at home because you have the crowd. And then Boise State, like they're a team that's playing some great ball. So I didn't expect. I didn't want a blowout. I just wanted them to be close, and they had shots they just didn't execute.
And Richard Pitino said after the game, they were taking good shots. They just weren't falling. What am I look at tomorrow, and I don't know how to feel. And I look at a team that, and again, I'm not going to pretend that I'm there every day, that I know them intimately, but you've been in a situation, you're coming down the stretch, the pressure's on, you know what's at stake, right? Not only this week, if you lose to Fresno State, it doesn't even matter if you win at Utah State, I don't know, right? You got to win tomorrow. Yeah. You've lost the last 2, confidence-wise, you're listening to the noise. Where do you think their heads are? Because you were riding high, you were ranked, you had that great week, you beat ranked teams, you've had such highs this year, and now does doubt creep in? It does. It has to.
Being an athlete, I don't think it comes down to doubting yourself. I'm gonna retract that. It does come down to doubting yourself, really? and where you're at in your head space, right? There's a tremendous amount of pressure right now that they could have help prevent, right? And that's where everybody's a little frustrated, because it's one of those things to where if you come out and you execute and it's a better situation, going back to the Air Force game, your mindset is not here. And then that's less pressure because you got to go on the road and win at Boise State. Then you got to come home in a Fresno State team that's like 6-4, I think, or something like that. They're playing some pretty good ball right now, and they're not a bad team. And then you got Utah State at home,
who's going to be playing for a league championship.
Oh man, yes they are, and it's going to be sold out probably down there. And you've had Utah State's number in the pit, right? So Utah State is like, hey, they beat the crap out of us. They're not going to allow that to happen down there. You wouldn't think it does, but hey, you never know. Utah State could come out flat and Lobos could get up. You never know.
How much does a noise creep in? And it's a different world than when you played, and I get it. I'm hearing, I mean, look, everything from let it go and they're going to be fine to fire the coach. And I think the fire the coach stuff is crazy. I think you've got a good coach who is in a third year of a rebuild and remember where you were.
Exactly.
But I mean, obviously it's not exactly. It'll be a disappointment. I think if you don't make the tournament, I think it's a disappointment with the expectations from last year and this year. But how much noise creeps in? How do you? And it's different than when you played, I know. But when you were in the NBA, social media was there. How do you keep it out of the locker room?
Well, it was MySpace in the NBA. It was Blackberries and all that crap back then, right? Social media wasn't what it is today. I feel like these kids nowadays do go to social media more than they should. And you could totally get caught up because you could the things that people are saying, even when I post about something as far as like what they think it should be, everybody always gonna have an opinion and the noise is always gonna be there. If you come home and you take care of business at home, then the noise goes away, right? You gotta calm the storm before you go into this big storm with Utah State on Saturday, because it's gonna be huge. And the thing about it is the Lobos have at least 3 more games.
That's right.
At least 3 more games. It's not like tomorrow's the last game, right? Even though it's senior night. But it's gonna, you got to go out with the bang, especially at home, with all the energy that House has brought to this community over the last couple of years, because it's his last game. And it's going to be interesting to see how they come out.
What do you make? What kind of Lobo is Jalen House been? How will he be remembered? Because I've said this and I'll stand by it, and I understand he's had a couple subpar games. I think guys getting slumps. He's the most dynamic player I've seen around here in years. I didn't say the best. He played with passion, and he made this program, not just this team, made this program way better.
Yeah, the way that Pitino got him to transfer from Arizona State, I was like, whoa, right? I played with his dad, Eddie House, in Sacramento. The fact that he was coming here, I think it was a huge impact because he was a huge player that's coming to UNM. Nobody expected him to transfer here. I didn't. He set the tone from an energy, from I'm that guy, to where he reminds me like a Royce Only, like that passion is there and you love the passion. But there was just a couple times to where it just went a little overboard, because if it was a foul that was needed and that he committed, to where we needed him on the floor, or he's just that guy to where you can see that the energy's there and you got to feed off of that. I fed off of Royce Only. I fed off of Clayton Shields, even though I was the quieter one that was on the team, right? But he's the guy that set the tone, him and Mashburn. And you got to keep that in mind. We just can't jump ship on Mashburn like that, because I feel like he's a great guy from the standpoint to where he impacts the game in so many different ways. He might not be scoring, but you got to keep in mind the fact that he can score, he's demanding attention.
Kicking in with Kenny here on the Sports Animal. JJ?
Yeah, and I think this is, what you have to learn. It's not easy to learn that, with the accolades, you're going to have to deal with the criticism, and that's whatever you do in life. And this era of player, they grew up with their phones, so you can't just tell someone to put their phone down, because all the people that are saying put your phone down are walking around with their phone in their hands.
Yeah.
And so it's one it's not easy. It's never easy to do, but you do just have to find your way to manage that in your life with the noise.
Man, criticism comes, man.
Yeah.
I had it when I played at whichever level you want to point out there. I still have it now, I'm pretty sure. People are always going to talk, but the thing about it is it should light a fire under you to where if people are saying things from the standpoint, not necessarily prove them wrong, but I like to make statements when people are talking or have comments about me, right? Because there's people around here that think I'm not a nice guy. They don't know me, obviously, but at the same time, the people that do know me know who I am. So you just got to cancel all that out. And with Mash having the dad that he has, I'm pretty sure he's helping him with that situation.
Yeah, I learned a long time ago, man. Everybody ain't gonna like you.
No, man.
I stopped trying a long time ago. A long time ago. All right, we can take a break. When we come back, let's get into some NBA stuff. Big NBA stuff this week.
See, but not a lot of people might not like me, but my name ain't going nowhere.
That's right. No, you made your name, and you made. I mean, that's right. Look,
and so have you.
Look in the mirror.
That's my whole point.
What's that guy in the mirror telling you? And you can BS the world. You can't BS the guy in the mirror.
Exactly.
And if that guy is telling you, what you need to hear, or maybe sometimes you need to listen to what that guy's telling.
Trust me, I'm cool with looking in the mirror in the morning.
Well, you're good looking, dude. It's the opening drive. We're kicking it with Kenny on 95.9 FM and AM 610. Hey, Sports Animal.
The madness is coming.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Try this shit better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stunker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Your surprisingly great rates? Contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet.
Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight. Boom! Boom!
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in Murcia. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
The community, and they're helping me with in certain situations.
No names here, but yeah.
Oh, no. Never name drop.
Hey, we're kicking it with Kenny Thomas, former Lobo great, 11-year NBA veteran, Jeff Sabieta, J.J. Bucks in beautiful Fresno, California. He's got Lobo women's tonight. 40,000 points is something else. We've never seen it. LeBron James hit 40,000. Look, whether you like LeBron, you don't like LeBron, there's no denying he did something nobody's ever done.
Yeah, and he's still going to continue to climb that ladder. And this is a guy, 40,000 points. You never thought something like that would have been broken, especially with you got Kareem Abdul-Jabbar that held it down for so long. And back in the day, I don't know if Kareem was a three-point shooter, but, there wasn't no three-point line.
Sky hooks, man. Yeah. Well, okay.
From the three-point line.
Yeah, I want to get into the three-point line conversation because that leads us into the Caitlin Clark thing. And I said yesterday, Caitlin Clark at Iowa is unbelievable. Okay, I don't have a negative thing to say about her. I have got mad respect. She has made the women's game on another echelon for exposure. Everything you hear about her is phenomenal. I have not a bad word to say about her.
Yeah.
I struggle with the comparison to Pete Maravich. And so it's inarguable. She's scored more points than anybody who's ever played college basketball. Mm-hmm. She has. But Maravich did it in 3 years, 47 less games, no three-point line. Like, to me, it's a different game. There's no – and this is, again, not taking anything away from her. It's just not comparable. They're different games. Yeah,
that's like you add in that COVID year and records could still get broken if Mashburn comes back, right? Same thing.
Maravich is almost did by the kid from Detroit Mercy last year who missed it by 2 points.
Yeah, but the way that she's changing the game, I see her like Steph Curry for women. And I know you got Bird in the NBA, and then you have the one young lady that played for UConn. That played on USA teams. I can't think of her name. That was supposed to be a great shooter. That she retired a couple of years ago.
Diana Taurasi?
Yes. Yep. She was supposed to be the next Michael Jordan, right? Which she pretty much was close to it. But the way that Clark is about to come in and change the game, and she's already changing it from an NIL perspective, and now she's about to come into the WNBA, and I feel like that's great for the WNBA because they don't get the recognition that they're supposed to. Women's basketball, I think it's at a high peak right now, and it's elevating, and it's changing the game, and it's continuing to evolve.
Every time you flip on the TV, there's women's, and I think it's great. I just let them be two separate games, and that's the only place where I'm going. Like yes, she does have more points than Maravich, and that's great, but they're different. It's the opening drive, kicking it with Kenny here on the Sports Animal.
Kenny, did you ever forget what time tip-off was? Because Anthony Edwards said he lost track of time, and the Minnesota Timberwolves were assessed a technical because Edwards was not there for tip-off.
He missed tip-off last night.
Oh, so he missed tip-off?
Yeah.
He just had a baby, too, though.
Oh, yeah. Well, but he was in the building, dude.
Yeah, he just had a baby.
Okay.
So, okay, coach, so because they already wrote his name probably as a starter, but at the same time, what's the big deal? You just put in a guard.
Yeah, but you get a technical foul. He didn't go until like 11:20 something in the game. He was in the back doing whatever he does, and just flat out didn't come out in time for tip-off, right?
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like that. I'm just thinking you just put a guard in first position.
Yeah, but you get teed up early.
Yeah, I don't know that rule. Maybe that's a new rule.
It's there. Hey, what do you make of the Warriors getting blued out by 52 by the Celtics?
Man, but they're playing some great ball.
They were.
It's the Celtics. They're 1 in the NBA, and I think they're 47 and like 48 now, and like probably like 12. And the fact that all their losses have come on the road, the majority of them, if not for like a couple, but this is what Boston does, right? And it's gonna come down to, okay, obviously the regular season is regular season, but it's a whole nother season when the postseason comes in. Boston's been great, and they haven't been able to capitalize on certain situations. So we'll see what happens.
JJ?
This is the Warrior stuff is fascinating because we've had the discussion that people are saying it's the end. It's like it's a regular season game. It's the end if they lose a playoff series. They just if you get bounced in the postseason. But I think the Western Conference, it's going to be fascinating because look at what Los Angeles did to Oklahoma City last night. The Lakers have beat the Thunder 3 times this season, and I think that is a fascinating case of the up and coming group that is just trying to learn what this is all about, and they've been there, done that.
Don't you think it comes down to the veterans, JJ, to a certain extent? Like the Oklahoma City, they're playing great. I think they're in the top 3 right now, but they're young, experienced.
Absolutely, and I think what's one of the when we always talk about getting ready for playoff basketball, it's one of the things that everyone talks about. Do you have to learn how to win in the playoffs? Like, is Oklahoma City good enough now to just go on a run, or are they too young to do that, even though they're leading the Western Conference?
I think it's going to be interesting to see. It's the same thing like with Minnesota, right? They're 2 young teams, but I think Minnesota has a veteran in Gobert that's playing some really good ball, Rudy. But it's going to be interesting to see how it all really unfolds these last like 15, 20 games, because the Western Conference, you got the Warriors and you got the Lakers that are on the rise right now.
As long as they show up in time for their damn tip-off. That's it. Speaking of playoff basketball and teams that are getting hot, and all of a sudden the Bucks have won 6 in a row. Evidently they figured it out under Doc Rivers. Giannis didn't play last night. They win last night. And they beat the Clippers, as JJ just said. And all of a sudden, everybody loves Boston. Everybody should love Boston. But I don't know, man. I got Giannis and I got Dame Lillard on a team, and it feels like they're putting something together, and the playoffs are coming. Pardon me for saying I like Milwaukee out of the East.
Yeah, I like Milwaukee too, to be honest, and I like my Sixers too. I
even
think,
without Embiid.
Yeah, but he's gonna come back. He's always hurt.
So you think he'll be?
Yeah,
he's always hurt. Is the thing.
He's always hurt, but I think the addition of Kyle Lowry was huge.
Yeah.
But I would have to say Milwaukee. Doc Rivers he's a coach that obviously that's been to the playoffs, and he has experience, right, from a coaching perspective. And they got rid of Griffin, so it's not like they could have got rid of Doc right away. That would have just been bad, because they would have had 3 coaches on payroll coming in with the 4th one. But I feel like Dame is going to be the guy, and Chris Middleton's going to be the 2 that's going to impact that game. Giannis is going to be Giannis, right?
Yes.
But I feel like those 2
Dame.
guys are going to be huge.
Dame. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Before I let you go, I got a text question from Terry. It says, it's back to Lobo basketball. Where does Kenny rank the UNM program over the history of the program? Approximate number. It says, I say between 50 and 75. So, like, I guess he's asking overall basketball programs in America. That's not tough. I mean,
it's very tough.
Yeah.
I mean,
I say they're the best program that's ever made the Sweet 16.
Who is?
New Mexico.
We haven't made the Sweet 16.
That's my point. The best program who's not made the Sweet 16.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah.
But you got to count my 4 years. You got to think about Luke Longley, Michael Cooper. They probably had a couple years in there.
Yeah, they probably did.
Yeah. And then you got Danny Granger. I think that was a tough time when I left. I think things started to flip. I think the last couple years have been good, but
They're probably a top 70 program.
yeah, I'd say, yeah.
Most underrated Lobo over the last 25 years. I say Reuben Douglas.
No, Reuben used to get buckets.
Yeah,
What
but
do you mean?
nobody, anytime I hear, because his teams didn't win, because that wasn't a good team, he got buckets now. He got crazy. But you always get yours because your team's won. Danny gets his, Luke gets his. As far as just a baller, that's kind of my point is when people say, oh, the great Lobos were Kenny Thomas and Danny Granger and Luke Longley and Michael Cooper. And I never hear Reuben. And I think, man, he got buckets like crazy.
Yeah.
On bad teams.
He did get buckets. He got a lot of buckets.
Yeah, he was really good.
Yeah, I could go with that.
I just never hear people say, they always forget him because those teams were not good.
I could go with that.
Yeah.
But where's he at in scoring? Is he top 5?
He transferred, right? The guys who were top 5 are the guys like you who were here 4 years, right?
Yeah, you got a point. Charles Smith is one. I'm second.
Yeah. Jay, you got anything else?
Well, I think that's a conversation for a different day. That would be great when we have more time.
We'll do it a different day. All right, Kenny will be back in here on Friday, but before that, you can listen to him tomorrow. Over on Lobo Live, it's the call-in show on News Radio KKOB. After Lobo basketball, Lobo's in Fresno State tomorrow. You drag along Brandon Ortega with you, and but the two of them will be there for you over on News Radio KKOB. And they've got the call-in show has been really good. I've enjoyed listening to it. It's brought to you by Barelas Coffee House.
Yeah, Barelas.
And anything else?
Friday morning. Hey, tomorrow night at the Lobo game, last home game. My wines up on the club level in the suites. You can ask for my wines. It's my name, Kenny Thomas Legacy Wines.
Do the
wines.
blend, the red blend. It's good.
Oh, thank you. Yes, that's my higher end. I got a cab too. I got a Sauvignon Blanc and a Chardonnay. Just ask. It's under my name. I appreciate the support. You can also go to Albertsons up in Santa Fe, and you can pick it up right now at the Albertsons off of Academy and Tramway.
All right. Enjoy the week.
He just gave me the tease. He's looking out for me.
Yeah, that was like the intersection.
See, JJ, you need to watch out, man. I like being on with Jeff.
You sit in your seat making himself real. All of a sudden, that seat feels comfortable now, too.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah. All right. I'll see you on Friday, and we'll hear you tomorrow.
All right, fellas. Good luck, JJ.
It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal.
The Mountain West is red hot.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Cross-Camara here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you with.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Spell, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Thomas, Ralph sent you a link. You can get it in the Kenny Thomas Legacy Wine in San Diego as well. You can get it wherever you want. Opening drive, Jeff, JJ, and DC. JJ's in beautiful Fresno. How's the weather in Fresno, dude? Because, I mean, you think with all the snow they've been getting in the Sierras, you getting any of that, or is it good out there?
Claire already worked its way through.
Really? So it's just a beautiful Fresno day. How was Cheesecake Factory and Hooters? Everything good there?
A beautiful Fresno day today. Be about maybe 60 degrees. Not too bad.
Big game for the ladies tonight, JJ.
Gigantic win, your second place.
I got a text from Rod on the Lobo women. It says Bradbury misses putt. It says, Jefferson, if you're a golfer, always leaving yourself about 5 feet for par, you're eventually going to miss one. This year, the Lady Lobos have been sneaking by all these, what he calls, cheap teams. Now, Saturday, Bradbury's putt finally burned the edge and went right by the hole. It's from Rod. Is that a fair analogy, JJ?
Yes.
Okay.
Missed opportunity to take a big step forward against Nevada on Saturday.
Big one against Fresno tonight, and then you'll have your seating by tomorrow morning. Is everybody done today? We'll have seating for the conference tournament, and you'll know when you're playing by tomorrow morning.
What is wild is there's one seed locked up. It's UNLV.
Well, they're the one.
Yeah, but there's no other seed locked up.
It's crazy. With
10 teams will find out tonight where they're going to be playing.
Hey, DC, will you tell Kenny I got a text from, I don't know who, says that his Meritage is wonderful, KT. It said they like his wine. So look at him smiling. I don't even see him, and I just saw the sunlight bounce off of his smile. Like, I know how he's been back in here. It says the Meritage is wonderful, KT. That's what he said. Kenny's not done, by the way. He's back in your seat. He liked your seat so much. You say thank you.
Thank you very much. That's one of the ones I bring Jeff whenever I bring him wine.
Yeah, it's good. We drank it. It's good. All right.
Okay, I can go now. Sorry, JJ. I didn't sit down.
Hey, JJ, got a little more NFL stuff for you. So I told you that the Panthers franchise tag Brian Burns today, the edge rusher. The report this morning is, and I don't think this surprises, that the Giants will not franchise tag Saquon Barkley. JJ, I think there's going to be a bunch of good veteran running backs on the market. Saquon, maybe Josh Jacobs. It sounds like Aaron Jones of the Packers. They don't want to pay him. Maybe Tony Pollard. There's going to be a bunch of good veteran running backs on the market.
There will be, and waiting the market out will be fascinating to see how late some of these guys go, because if you're able to play the waiting game and you're a team that can get one of these guys on a friendly deal, because that's what it's going to be, they're going to hold out. The teams on the team side, they're going to hold out as long as they can to not pay these running backs. There's difference makers, man. This free agent class, we're talking Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley, Josh Jacobs, Tony Pollard. I think Austin Eckler can be a good rotational piece next season as not a true 1A. It is stacked.
Rate me, because I got my thoughts. Aaron Jones, Saquon, Josh Jacobs, Austin Eckler, Tony Pollard. 1 through 5 that you want.
I go Saquon, Jacobs, Jones, Pollard, Eckler.
I go Jacobs, Saquon, Jones, Eckler, Pollard. And boy, Saquon is hard for me at the top because of the availability issue. Josh Jacobs is young. I think the upside is so good. I mean, they both can catch the ball in the backfield. I lean Jacobs over Saquon because of the availability issue.
Well, it's just a year difference between Jacobs and Barkley.
Yeah, they're both young. No, they're both young. Aaron Jones is 29. He's the older one. And by the way, I still think Aaron Jones has a ton left in the tank. I look at how about that? I had a fantasy team with Aaron Jones and Josh Jacobs last year, and they were the worst team I've ever had. Because, I mean, those guys were never available last year. By the way, I'd keep them both if I could. Aaron Jones and Josh Jacobs. You think that's pretty good, right?
On paper, it sounds great.
They were cool. Yeah.
It's the wide receiver league.
You know what? Dude, you have so convinced me on that. But how do you just go out without running backs? How'd you do? Exactly.
Yeah, I had a team with Aaron Jones and Josh Jacobs and lost in the playoffs. But
I didn't even get there.
You guys both had the same backfield?
Different leagues.
Well, I know, but I mean, like on your fantasy team, you guys both.
Yeah,
had the
I
same
didn't know
back?
that. Yeah, I just learned that.
But
I had bad receivers on it. I didn't have bad, dude. I just played the wrong ones. And that was the league where I'm kicking myself. The last pick in the auction, I told you the other league I drafted Puka Nacua, and I was going to take Puka for $1, $2, whatever. And what was the guy from Tennessee? Second-year guy.
Oh, you went with the dude from Arkansas.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, he's there. I could get. That's a great pick. You know, Nakua's really good. I'll get him. And of course, Puka goes off in the first week, and he got swiped up. And
Treylon Burks.
That's who it was, dude. 100% who it was. Oh yeah, I got Treylon Burks. He's going to be a breakout guy. Yeah, I think Puka Nacua was a breakout guy. So, and you're like, whatever. You all have your nightmares playing fantasy football. I know. 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. But that's the news this morning. The Giants will not tag Saquon Barkley. Hey, this came out this morning too. Live Golf ends their bid this morning for World Golf Ranking accreditation. This is kind of news because they withdrew their application for recognition from the official golf rankings. Greg Norman sent out a letter to the players today. So Live, now in its third season, right, has been fighting for these points, the accreditation, because the world rankings are used to determine exemptions and other invitations to 4 majors. The Masters, the U.S. Open, the Open Championship, and the PGA Championship. Quote from Norman in this letter, and you guys both enjoy the golf. It's now clear that the best way forward for Live as a league and you as Live golfers is not through the current ranking system. A resolution which protects the accuracy, credibility, integrity of the world rankings no longer exists. We've made enormous efforts to fight for you and to ensure your accomplishments are recognized within the existing ranking system. Unfortunately, world rankings have shown little willingness to productively work with us. So I don't know what the path forward is for those golfers to get into the majors.
How long are you exempt if you won one? Do you get to go forever?
I think it depends. Like the Masters is forever, right? Masters, you get a lifetime exemption. I want to say like the U.S. Open, the Open Championship, it's like 5 or 10 years or something like that. You get an exemption. Although I think the British Open, right? I mean, Tom Watson came back forever. isn't he? He was 64, 60. Remember he was in contention on a Saturday and he was 63 years old? Or on a Sunday? And it was really, really cool. This will be interesting to watch. You know, they play a different game. They play 54 holes. They play no cuts. Every other tour in America plays 4 days. What's 54 plus 18? 72? They play 72 holes, and they have cuts. I mean, they do play a different game. It's Pete Maravich to Caitlin Clark in some respects. Not totally, but see what I'm saying?
So according to Fox Sports, you're exempt for 5 years with U.S. Open, PGA Championship, and Open Championship.
The Open Championship is only 5 years?
That's according to Fox. Yeah.
All right, so you get a 5-year exemption. Yeah. Only 4 live golfers are currently ranked in the top 50 in the world. John Rahm, who just jumped over. He's ranked 3rd. Terrell Hatton, Brooks Koepka, and Cameron Smith. But you've got great golfers over there. Dustin Johnson's there. Of course, you've got Taylor Gooch.
I like Mike Bradbury so much for that response.
It was really good, right?
It was rich.
And it was thoughtful. He's like, look, Taylor Gooch.
The way he set it up, you're right.
Yeah, he's like, all right, look, I've been thinking about, I read about this, and Taylor Gooch has missed more cuts than he's made. Yeah, it was good. All right, we'll wrap you up when we get back. Everything you got to know as you go through your Tuesday here on The Sports Animal. For years, I've been telling you about IPS, right? International Protective Service. Look, they watch my house. They protect my home. They protect hundreds of homes and businesses in Albuquerque and Santa Fe with 24-hour patrols and standing guards. They also install alarms at your home. They also install video surveillance systems, and their technology teams monitor those video cameras, which record criminals, and the video surveillance will help in the investigation if there's an issue. And video surveillance discourages criminal activity. IPS can set you up with access control if you've got a business. The only people authorized to get in are the only ones who will get in. They'll monitor the alarm. They'll monitor the cameras. They see something or the alarm goes off, they're there within 7 minutes. IPS provides the manpower and the technology to protect you and your family and your property. It's a winning combination. Give them a call. See what they can do for you. I think you're going to be pleased. 505-897-2420. 505-897-2420 or IPSglobal.com. IPS, passionate about making Albuquerque and Santa Fe a better place to live and work.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Try this shit better than all my intentions. Locked in shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, taint, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
A portion, of this fan base that's turned on Jamal and even Jalen House for that matter. And JJ, you said that it's been quite vocal on the social media, and we did have a caller came in and kind of got into you a little bit, said that, it's not the majority, that the majority of people are bashing the people who are bashing. Whatever. I don't have the numbers. I don't know. He made a good point. It's an older fan base, and so many of them might not be on the social media. Look, I don't know if it's 2% or 52%. I don't know. There's been a vocal part of this fan base that has gotten on these two young men. Now, look, I'm the first guy that says if you're going to bask in the glory of a shot, you got to stand there and take it when you don't win, and so that's part of it. Say what you got to say. Have your opinion. I got mine. You've got yours. Mine's no better than yours. It's just mine, and yours is yours. JJ's is JJ's, and Steven, the caller, is Steven's. I would tell you that if Jamal Mashburn wants to come back for a COVID year, you take him in a heartbeat, and you're thrilled, and you hit a home run, and it's a coup because Jamal Mashburn and Jalen House have been great for this program. Senior nights tomorrow night, Mash and House will be honored, and I hope that they get a gigantic ovation for what they are. They both came here when this program was really, really down. They've stayed here for 3 years. They have been tremendous for this program. They have been the keys, the two of them. And you can tell me, yep, Dent's great and Toppin's great, but the two of these guys came here when the program was down, when it was scuffling, and they have been the two keys to getting this program, JJ, is it fair to say nationally relevant again? The amount of talk that they've gotten on a national basis has been in large part because of this dynamic backcourt. Have they slumped in this second half of the season? I believe one of them, certainly Mash, maybe House as well, are way more injured than we thought. But that was the conversation.
Yeah, and it's one, and we live in the bubble that we do of sports. easy to get caught up in narratives, and there's no denying that some people are outright done with this backcourt. I'm not making that up. That's not a false statement, but it's not everyone. And so to have the conversation and what I'm seeing, and I appreciate the feedback, man. That's why I'm on Twitter. That's why we're here to have these discussions. A lot of people are saying it's more about what's happened with the amount of playing time versus the player themselves. It's like, okay, I'll listen to that conversation.
And that so Pitino should cut their playing time and play more. Yeah, so they almost think it's more on the coach.
Yes.
It's interesting. All right, and I know we'll continue this. Tomorrow will be senior day, and we'll be getting into that. And I mean, we'll play it out, and you'll have more of your conversation. My point is, these two young men have been tremendous for this program, and hopefully they get to the NCAA tournament. If they don't, I think it'll be a bummer. I understand your disappointment, and I agree with you. For those of you who said, with the expectations where they were, with the team assembled the way they were, put together the way they were, and the way they played for the first 2/3 of the season, yeah. JJ, I think it's fair to say you're disappointed. Pretty fun 2 seasons.
Very exciting.
I'll give you that. Beat the hell out of what it was before, wasn't it?
Yep.
I mean, that's where it was. All right. Give me a preview tonight. Why should I listen to JJ Buck telling me about Lobo women's basketball?
Because basketball matters, Jeff, first and foremost. And you have a team that is, if they win, they're second place. And this was not expected. This was not a year where this Lobo squad was thinking that they'd be playing for second place in the Mountain West Conference. A chance to really go into Las Vegas with a lot of confidence, but it's going to have to start on the defensive end, because if they find themselves in another shootout, and Fresno State can be one of the most explosive offenses in the conference, then that's not the game the Lobos want to play tonight.
If they lose tonight, how low can they drop in the seeding?
They can be no lower than 4th.
All right, so they're not playing on the first day.
So they're not playing on Sunday.
Second or third would be preferable, because you stay away from UNLV till the final.
Yes.
All right. JJ cracks the mic from Fresno. 6:30 pregame and 7 o'clock tip-off. Thank you to Sebastian Noel, the voice of the people. He was with us today. Thank you to Kenny Thomas, former Lobo great. He also kicked it with us as well. Jim Rome Show is next. The Herd with Colin Cowards after that. 2 Men On is here at 4. We'll be back tomorrow morning with award-winning radio starting at 7 a.m. Adrian, great work from your side. Love the visuals. DC, it's always difficult. I know one of us is remote. Appreciate your work. Be good to each other, please. Be kind. Oh, JJ, big day for you?
Huge day.
Enjoy it. Have a great call. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks for calling Toyota.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros